we drill for oil in protected areas? Should we risk our wildlife? Should we drill to improve economy and increase jobs? Should we drill to be energy independent?
Camden, what do you think?
I don't think we should because I want there to be wildlife somewhere and not civilized yet, so we can keep more area protected.
Okay, Daniel, what do you think about becoming more energy independent?
I think it would be good to become more energy independent, but I don't want to go to the state where we don't have any wildlife.
Okay, so you don't want to sacrifice wildlife protection for more energy independence.
No.
What would your answer be when someone says that we need more energy?
Well, I would say that if we drill in the ANWR, we would only be getting less than a tenth of our energy.
Okay, so it wouldn't make enough of a difference for the risk, is what you're saying.
It wouldn't make enough of a difference for the risk.
Okay. What about increasing jobs? How many jobs did we say would be increased by drilling in the AWR?
65,000.
It says 65,000 jobs. So are we saying that we would not do that too? Go ahead and click.
I think it would be nice to have more jobs, but I still don't think it's a good idea to sacrifice anything for anything this important for something as for jobs.
What do you, and what are a couple of accidents that we've studied about, Camden?
And there could
Let Camden do what? What are the two accidents?
Well, we've studied about the Dust Bowl and the oil spill in Mexico, in the Gulf of Mexico.
And that affected large areas for many, many years. So we always say that we're going to make rules and allowances to protect the environment, but accidents always happen. Let's hit cut there.
How much oil does America use? What happened to the oil prices in 1973 and why? How would drilling help oil prices?
Well, America uses roughly 4 billion barrels of oil annually. This is very costly, at about $400 billion a year. Gas prices are soaring due to the loss of oil and the economy, but oil is even worse for the environment. What do you think about what oil is doing to our economy and the environment?
Oh, well, I think that it is hurting wildlife and it is hurting protected areas, so there won't be enough land for the wildlife and all the animals that need it.
Okay, and what about, can you make some comparisons to drilling there and maybe the movie The Lorax or to Wall-E? Can you do that?
Well, I can make a comparison to the Lorax because if we drill in the ANWR, we will be ruining a beautiful land. And in the Lorax, it was a beautiful and very green area, and if we drill in ANWR, there will be the same effect.
Well, and then how is that like Easter Island then? Okay, did you remember the Easter Island?
Yeah, they cut down all the trees in Easter Island for the
Moai statues.
Moai statues, and so there's like no trees there, so there's no oxygen.
There's no
food.
There's no people there at all.
Yeah, there's no people or trees.
Well, let's look back at this graphic. We can see what happened to the price of oil in 1973. Look, it was around how many dollars a barrel?
Well, it was around
$10 a barrel, and then those oil prices went up because they decided they're going to reduce the amount of oil
around
they sell.
60.
So that's what happens to us when they say that we're becoming energy dependent, which is bad. It means we depend on foreign oil. And if we drill for our own oil, we become more independent.
Well, on the subject of the 1973 oil crisis, well, what happened was oil prices went up due to Middle Eastern countries refusing to sell us oil. When countries withhold oil from us, it sends us into an economic downfall. This is bad for the economy. But if we drill in America, it may not affect us when the countries do do this. Americans think that they know exactly where to drill. The Arctic National Wildlife Refuge.
Okay.
We're back with Canada News Live. Back to you, Erin.
Thank you.
How much oil does? Oh, are we down to the bottom? How would drilling help oil prices?
Well, if we drill in large areas like A and WR, we would raise the gas prices.
We would raise the gas prices if we got
Lower.
Right, we'd lower.
Lower.
But forever, or
It would, by drilling in A and WR, it would give us 1.4 million barrels of oil per day, which lowers.
1.4 million barrels,
Which would lower the gas prices by a whooping 4 cents. We already checked. It won't help us at all.
okay. So it helps a little bit, but barely. And there's a lot of people who like the jobs that we get. What about this? The person who wrote this book, are they trying to persuade you or inform you?
It's kind of informing while persuading. They're trying to say good things will happen and bad things will happen, but they're also trying to inform you about it, so it's a little bit of both.
So you think it tells you a lot of information, which means it informs you.
Yeah.
But it persuaded your opinion, didn't it?
Uh-huh.
Okay. How did it persuade you?
Well,
Let Eddie do that one.
well, at first I thought it would be good to drill in there. At first I thought it would be good to drill in there because we would get lots of oil. But now after reading the book, I realized that it will hurt a lot of animals if something goes bad.
Right. And we read those other books about the other things that happened. What else happened? Those other things.
Well, the Dust Bowl, it was mostly caused by something that could also be caused too. Weed. People were like, oh, I found a bunch of farmland. Now I'll just dig it all up and make a bunch of money. Well, that didn't help. And in the oil spill, people were like, we'll be safe, don't worry. Well, they weren't safe, and they destroyed a lot of animal life, which cost in one of the most expensive things ever.
The cleanups was really expensive. So sometimes we make a lot of money, and it sometimes later costs us a lot of money to clean up the messes we have. Okay, but that's one of the questions that we need to be talked about. So the answer was what Erin said. Does the book inform or persuade? And your answer was what?
Both. Because at first I was like, oh, it's okay to drill. Everything will be fine. And then those poor animals, it's their home. So it persuaded me. And it's also informing me about what's going to happen if we do or don't drill it.
It's good to pause. Okay, we're back, and we're going to talk about what are the reasons to drill there, Ava?
Some reasons to drill are we'd get about 65,000 rocks from drilling, and then we would follow rules and laws that are set and
To protect the land.
protect the land and the wildlife.
What about how much money can the United States government make by drilling there?
We can make 200 billion.
$200 billion if we allow that. And that's a fifth of $1 trillion. That's a lot. Okay, so there's some reasons to drill. What are the reasons not to drill there, Alexis?
Not drill is it gives us 1/10 of the oil we need. And another reason is the oil is spread out under 30 different areas.
So that means instead of just putting one drill or two drills in a small area, there's like lakes of oil underneath, and they have to do it in 30 different areas. So that means a larger area of roads and equipment and wildlife being dispersed. Okay. What was I going to ask you after that? Oh, what are some alternatives? If we don't spend money drilling, what should we do instead? What are some other energy sources?
We could also go with like solar energy, wind energy.
Right, and if we invested our money in that way, if we covered, this is a perfect map, if we covered one portion of Nevada, a small, I think it was a tenth of Nevada in solar panels, it would